Hi guys, so give me a second. I'm just gonna switch on the audio on my laptop and then we can get started, okay? Hold on. What's up everyone? Welcome back to my YouTube channel / my podcast. I am the Marketing Nomad and my name is Prithvi Madhukar. Now, in this episode, we are going to dive a little bit deeper into my understanding of what manifestation means. Now, of course, there's a backstory to this of why this podcast episode / video came about. I feel like I want to call them podios, like podcast and video. I don't know if anyone else has coined that term, okay? Let me know in the comments if they have, but I'm just going to call it podio from now. Okay, it's just simpler. Okay, so a couple of months ago, I was chatting with a friend of mine. We were talking about manifestation, and they were quite upset when I brought up the topic. You know, they said, well, I don't know if it works. I mean, I've done the whole vision board thing. I've done the gratitude thing. I have, written lists of what I want, all of those things, and none of them seem to work. So I don't understand what I'm doing wrong, or I don't understand if it is even true. And that's when I realized that I actually have a slightly different understanding of manifestation. And when I explained it to them, they seemed to feel more comfortable using it as a starting point to manifesting for themselves. And I want to share that with you in case, you've done it all and the advice on the internet or I would say guidance on the internet is not really helping you, then I hope that I can offer you a slightly different perspective on manifestation so that you can, try it out for yourself and see how it actually can change your life. All right. So I do want to put it out there that I'm not saying what's on the internet and the advice and the guidance that you're seeing right now is wrong. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that there is a bit more to it. Yeah, there are a little bit more of layers to that, okay? And that's how I perceive it. That's how I use it for myself. And I wish to share that with you, okay? So before we get into manifestation, which comes under spirituality, let's talk a little bit about why I'm so heavily inclined towards spirituality. To me, the reason why I love spirituality so much is because it's all about your personal quest. It's just about your journey, And the fact that it is about your journey makes spirituality so individualistic. Like, you can have overarching themes like manifestation, like even shadow work for that matter. But at the end of the day, it's all about how you perceive it and finding what works for you. That's why I love it so much. And for me, I think that spirituality has a lot to do with one's journey to find peace. And this happens, in my opinion, in 3 different ways. The first is to find meaning and purpose that is beyond yourself, that is beyond your life. The second is to find connection with yourself and to also be more cognizant with the connection that you have with the people around you, with the animals around you, with the things around you. That's the second part of spirituality for me. The third is, of course, and I think this is something that you would have heard often as well, self-transcendence, the steps that you take towards transcending yourself, self-transcendence, Trying to hit that 1,000-word count, aren't we, Prit? Okay, so basically, those 3, to me, form the entire bubble of spirituality. And the best part is you are free to take your understanding of it. You are free to use my thoughts as a starting point to see what works for you, okay? So I guess I just want to reiterate that, spirituality, it's about your journey. It is a personal quest, okay? So that means you get to define it according to what fits you, what brings you peace, all right? So that to me is spirituality. So now let's talk about my understanding of manifestation, okay? In one of the previous podcast / video, or as we are going to call it from this episode, podio episode. No, wait. Is it like podio? I don't think it'll be like podio episode. I think it'll kind of be redundant, right? So it'll be podio. So in a previous podio, I'm still getting used to the saying it, okay? So bear with me for this episode. Okay, so in a previous podio, yeah, that sounds right. Okay. In a previous podio, I think it was shift your energy to shift the energy around you. I think it was that episode. So in that, I talked about energy. I talked a lot about it actually. And I said, I believe in energy. So I want to continue that line of thought in this podio as well. Okay. So for me, I believe in energy. I also believe that we attract things that are of the same frequency as ours. All right? So, in other words, the state that you are in right now, okay, the thoughts that you're having, the beliefs that you're having, the actions that you're taking, the emotions that you're feeling, all of it constitute to a frequency that you are at right now. Okay? And so am I. I am also at a frequency. And the things around you also have their own frequency. And this is physics. It's nothing magical about it, okay? And as an extension of that, the future that you envision for yourself is also at a particular frequency. I'm just extrapolating the same thought, okay? And I believe that we are only able to attract something into our life when we are at the same frequency. So the fact that you are here watching this video, you have found me in some context, and maybe you are following me, or maybe I just showed up on your feed. It means at that particular moment in time, both of us are at the same frequency, and that's how we are able to connect this way. And I truly believe that, all right? So if I extrapolate that particular line of thought, that we attract things that are of the same frequency as ours, it also means that we attract our manifestation only when we are in the same frequency as it exists. I'm going to repeat that, okay? Because, yeah, I myself was like, wow, that was such a good sentence. You have to say it again. Okay. I believe that we attract our manifestation only and only when we are in the same frequency as it is. Yeah, that was my phone. For some reason, I had not put the silent. Anyway, we've got that covered. Okay, so that to me is what I perceive manifestation to be. So the longer you are in the frequency of your manifestation, the closer the manifestation is brought towards you. That's what I truly believe. Okay, and so the more we get into that, okay. Actually, wait, pause. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about what I mean when I say the longer you are in that frequency. Now, for me, like I told you before, your manifestation is at a particular frequency, right? And so if you are able to stay in the frequency of that manifestation, what's essentially happening is you are bringing it closer to you. And sometimes you're going to go off frequency, right? And in those moments, what you're essentially doing is you are delaying your manifestation coming towards you. So for me, okay, in accordance to this theory, if I do my best to embody the frequency of my manifestation, and better still, if I can sustain that frequency, that's how I attract my manifestation. And I'm going to repeat that because this is very, very important. I believe that if I do my best to embody the frequency of my manifestation, and better still, okay, I sustain that frequency for as long as I can, the closer my manifestation gets to me, okay? And going by that, extending that a little bit more, my understanding is that manifestation is all about my ability to embody as well as sustain the frequency of my manifestation, or whatever life that I feel is aligned to what I want. All right? So that to me is what manifestation is about. Now, the reason why some people may get upset or may get triggered with the whole word manifestation is possibly you may have tried things like the vision board, or you may have done your gratitude list, you may have written out things that you really want in your life and had clarity about that. But where I see the problem with that is that's just one part of it. You are just recognizing the frequency in all of those steps, okay? Those are very powerful steps. Yes, you are recognizing the frequency that you are supposed to be in. But there's also the part where you have to embody that frequency and you have to sustain that frequency, okay? So I've had a lot of conversations with people who seem to get very triggered with the word manifestation, and they say, I've done the whole vision board thing, it just doesn't work. The reason why it's not working is because you're only doing one part of what manifestation is really about. You are recognizing the frequency, and that's very powerful. That's a powerful step, yes, but it's incomplete, okay? So for me, when it comes to manifesting for myself, I truly believe it is, yes, one, you have to recognize the frequency of the life that you want, or whatever it is that you're manifesting, okay? Number two, you have to embody that frequency. You have to see how can you bridge the gap between the frequency that you are at right now to the frequency of whatever it is that you are manifesting. And number three, you need to sustain it as well. It needs to be a continued effort to be in that frequency, because it's only when you are in that frequency that it is slowly getting pulled towards you. It's not going to magically appear the next day. It's getting pulled towards you. And the minute you stop embodying that frequency, that too stops coming towards you. So for me, when you are trying to manifest something, all right, the more important thing is to make sure that you are embodying and sustaining that frequency. So there's step 2 and 3 to that entire process. And that is my understanding to manifestation. I think it's, for me, the reason why I like my definition of manifestation is because it means that it's not just going to magically appear, yes. It also means that I have to be conscious of what I'm doing, what I'm thinking, how I'm feeling. There is a level of self-transcendence that occurs when it comes to manifestation. And I think that a lot of people seem to miss that out. All right? So that to me is what manifestation is all about. So now let's get into a little bit on, well, how do you recognize that frequency and embody that frequency and sustain that frequency? And of course, there's a lot on the internet. Hold on, let me put my water bottle down. Every time I do like this podio, I forget to put my water bottle down. And because I'm so animated with my speaking, my bottle's over there shaking and almost about to fall down. Okay, anyway, I put it down now. My water bottle Yes. My emotional support water bottle. I don't know. I feel like when I was growing up in my teens, I was this, absolutely wild and hot-tempered teen, and now I've become an adult who has a water bottle as her emotional support. How times change, guys, how times change. Anyway, but still as fierce though, I will give myself that, okay? So let's talk a little bit about the frequency achieving thing, okay? So of course, there's a lot of advice on the internet, there's a lot of guidance on the internet about manifestation, and that's all about recognizing it, all right? So the whole vision board thing, the whole outlining the life that you want, basically gaining clarity on what it is that you are manifesting, and to be as specific as possible is the process of you recognizing that that is the frequency that you want to be in. All right, so that's step number one. You're gaining clarity. All right, and that's good. It's good to take those first steps. It's really important to gain clarity on what exactly you want, because sometimes I think that when you are vague, all right, you yourself are not sure about what steps to take towards that. So even from a practical standpoint, from a more grounded, I wouldn't say practical, I think I would say more grounded standpoint, it's important to gain clarity about what it is that you are manifesting or what it is that you want. What life are you envisioning for yourself? What looks like an aligned life for you, right? Now, step 2 and 3 is more about embodying that frequency and sustaining it. And this can be done in numerous ways, all right? It can be done by you understanding your thoughts, your beliefs, your emotions, the actions that you're taking, and trying to switch that up so that you can embody the frequency of your manifestation. So that also means, yes, you may have to switch up your thoughts, your beliefs, change the way that you are perceiving your emotions, handling your emotions, maybe even change the actions that you are taking so that you are shifting your frequency to the frequency of what you are manifesting, okay? And sometimes, and this may absolutely sound crazy to you, sometimes manifestation is about inaction as well, all right? Sometimes it's about you taking a step back, you letting things be. You are switching into that frequency of letting things go, of not obsessing over it, of not, doing things that could hinder it. So there are different ways that manifestation can go. Sometimes manifestation does mean letting go, but sometimes it means taking action. So what your job is to find out, how do you get to that frequency of manifestation? What is it that you have to do and or not do to get to that point? Okay, now hold on, my battery is dying on my camera. I'm going to change it, and then we're going to get back into this podcast / video. I have to call it by its name that I've been given, or I gave it. I don't know if it's out there, okay? I will check after this podio. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm just gonna change the battery and I'll get back in just a second. Yeah, I'm back. So I struggled a bit with the camera. I don't know why it was stuck and I was unable to remove it, but yeah, that's been sorted out and now I'm back, and let me actually hit the record button on my laptop as well. Okay, give me just 1 second. Oh, hold on, let me just set my hair also a little bit. Okay, let's do this. Okay, yeah, I'm back now. Where was I? I'm just looking at my notes to see where we were before I had this battery escapade. All right, so frequency, right? We were talking about frequency, and I was telling you that sometimes it might be absolutely crazy that just inaction, taking a step back and letting go will actually be you embodying that frequency. So that's where I think a lot of people seem to, get frustrated, because sometimes they don't do anything and then the manifestation happens, but sometimes it does not happen. And that's the whole point of why I'm sharing this with you. sometimes you need to take action. You need to change your thoughts. You need to change your beliefs. You need to change the emotions that you're feeling or handle them in a better way to embody that frequency. And sometimes you have to take a step back. And even in taking a step back and letting go, you have to understand that there is a change in your thought process. There is a change in the belief that you are holding within you at that point in time, right? So there is still a change. It's just about you figuring out how you are going to A, make that change, and B, hit the frequency that you are supposed to hit, and number 3, sustain that, continue, be in that frequency, be in that state of being so that you can continue attracting your manifestation. And I kind of want to give an example of this, okay? So, for example, you want a healthy relationship, okay? Now, you've got to first understand that a healthy relationship exists on a frequency of its own, right? It's when two healthy people come together, that is the frequency that it is at. So that's two healthy people, okay? In a traditional sense, okay? I'm not really going to talk into other kinds of ones, but in a traditional sense, yeah. So when both parties are healthy, that constitutes a healthy relationship. That's how they work together and they form a partnership that is healthy. Now, that also means, and this might be a little bit hard for you to take, you also are one part of that equation. So you've got to be the healthy person that contributes to the healthy relationship. That's the frequency that you need to embody, right? And not just that. To be with a healthy person, to get to a healthy relationship, you've got to change the way that you show up. You've got to change your thought process, your belief systems, the way that you are managing your emotions. You've got to feel peace within yourself. You've got to show up as a healthy person first so that A, you can attract another healthy person, and then together, both of you work together, grow together, and form a healthy relationship, right? So it's basically that. Every single time that you are thinking, okay, well, I want this for myself, believe 100% that it can come into your life. I'm not even going to, say that, no, it's not possible. No, anything and every single thing that you want exists in a frequency. All you have to do is figure out what that frequency is, embody that frequency, and sustain it. 3-step process, okay? So if I were to put this in a different way so that you can have a better understanding of it, what I would say is you have to become what your manifestation is attracted to, because that too is at a frequency, right? And it too is looking for something that is at its same frequency so that it can attract it. That was a very, very complicated sentence. Let me say that again, okay? Your frequency, I'm saying, oh my God. Your manifestation exists at a particular frequency, and your manifestation too is looking for other things that are in the same frequency as it. All you have to do is become the frequency that your manifestation is attracted to, and it's attracted to the same frequency as what it is. All right? I hope that was not too complicated. Well, it made sense in my head, okay? Yeah, but that's basically what I want to say. And it can be for anything, guys. It can be absolutely for anything. You want to manifest something for your business, you want to manifest something for your personal life, for someone else's life, whatever it is, there is nothing that is beyond the spectrum of what you can manifest. Like nothing. You can do absolutely every single thing that you truly want. And this also works on the flip side as well. You can manifest negative things as well. Yes, that's true. All right. And I guess we would call that self-sabotage. You keep thinking that, okay, well, someone's going to cheat on me, or that person is going to leave me, or my business is going to fail. And invariably, you end up being in that frequency. You end up being in that energy. You end up having thoughts that somehow bring you to the frequency where eventually what you perceive will happen. Unfortunately, that is also how manifestation works. There's a positive side to it. There's also a negative. I wouldn't say a negative side of it. I think manifestation is just neutral. It really depends on you. You can manifest good things. You can also manifest negative things happening to you. It all depends on you. Manifestation by itself, poor thing, is just a very neutral person sitting there, like, chilling out. And it's really, up to you to decide which side you want to drag it out, okay? So that is, self-sabotage. You keep being in that frequency and keep thinking those negative things, and invariably you end up becoming the frequency of the negative things, and that's how it just gets sucked into your life, because you are attracting it. At every single given minute, you are attracting the frequency that you are at. So that's one more reason why I think people keep saying, well, think positive thoughts, because that's a way to embody that frequency. I know people seem to get very triggered by the word positive, having positive thoughts, or get triggered by that phrase, but I actually don't think there's anything to be triggered by that. And I understand where you're coming from. I know that there must have been very, very negative experiences, and trust me, at a given point in my life, I too was very triggered, because I had this whole H1B fiasco happening in my life, and I was like, well, yeah, I didn't do anything, and it happened, and bad things keep happening. And if you remember, bad things have been happening to me for over a decade, and they were like really, really pretty bad stuff, and to a point where, what's going on? I was like, I couldn't have possibly attracted that. But then the more I thought about it, the more I realized, yes, actually I did. If I look back into my thoughts, my beliefs, my actions, the way that I was showing up, the way that I was handling my emotions at that period of time, I was in the exact frequency of what I was attracting. I was in the exact frequency. And I gotta tell you, months leading up to the whole verdict of the work visa, it wasn't verdict. Verdict's such a powerful word. Yeah, well, that's my dramatization coming into play. I'm a very dramatic person, but what I mean to say is, when the results were about to be announced, for 2 to 3 months leading up to that, I was in such a negative headspace. Like, I was like, it's gonna go, nothing good ever happens to me, my luck is always so bad. And yeah, what do I know? I was literally in the same frequency as not getting the work visa thing happening for me. And yeah, and even for my business, the reason why it grew was because I had to shift my frequency from being someone who was self-sabotaging, from being someone who didn't believe in myself, from being someone who was constantly in that negative loop of thoughts, so on and so forth, and just shift into a person who believed that she was creating her own destiny. And that itself was very powerful. And that shift was how I was able to attract the things that I was attracting. So that's an example from my personal life. And I truly believe that if you want like a concise way of asking yourself, I guess I would say, well, what kind of a person should I be so that the life I want aligns with that? And I've actually written that down, Who is the person that you need to be to get to where you want to be? Because that is a very, very important component of manifestation. You can do as many vision boards as you want. You can make as many lists of the perfect partner, the perfect business, a perfect day in your life, so on and so forth. But none of that means anything if you cannot follow it up with how you are going to embody that frequency and how you are going to sustain that frequency for as long as you can. All right? So that basically is what I wish to share with you, especially if you have been someone who has tried all of these things and it's not really working for you, and you're getting frustrated about people talking about manifestation, but you don't really understand what it means, I hope I've broken it down for you to a point where you can take that as a starting point for your own understanding of manifestation and build on it, because that's also very important. Like I said, especially when it comes to spirituality, it's about how you perceive it. It's really about how you perceive it and how you can perceive it in a way that is beneficial to you, how it can bring peace to you. All right, so I'm just looking down at my notes to see if there's something that I've missed. It looks like I've hit all my talking points. And yeah, I just want to conclude this entire podio. Yeah, I used that correctly this time, didn't I? Okay, so I just want to conclude this podio by saying, you create your own steps to get there. And sometimes you might not understand, all right, you might say, okay, Prit, I know the frequency that I need to get to, but I don't know how to get there. And that happens sometimes, and I understand that. So if you find yourself in a situation like that, what I would say is look at other people who have manifested it for themselves, okay? Take a look at what they did. What were the thoughts that were running in their mind? What were the beliefs, that strong beliefs that they had? What were the actions or inactions that they were taking/not taking to get to where they wanted to be? And you see how you can tweak that for yourself so that you can align to the frequency of the manifestation that you want, okay? And other than that, there's also trial and error. I truly believe that even taking a step, even if you're not sure whether or not that step is going to lead you to that, the fact that you are taking a step towards it itself puts you in a different frequency than what you are at right now. And that is powerful. That is what exactly is manifestation all about. It's about how you shift your frequency. How can you manipulate your frequency so that you align to the life that you want? It's basically as simple as that. And the minute you understand that every single thing, positive or negative, good or bad, or even neutral for that matter, is in your hands, you in some shape or form are creating it for yourself. Even if you're not creating it, you are attracting it to yourself. I think it makes you feel a lot better, right? Because if something is not going well in your life right now, all you have to think is, well, all right, I don't like this frequency, okay? So what is the frequency of what I like? How do I get there? What are the steps that I need to take? Or what is it that I should not be doing to get to that frequency? That's all there is. Okay, so there are 3 steps, in my opinion, towards manifestation. At least that's how I perceive it, and that's how it's been working out for me. And every single time, I've actually got that quote somewhere on my wall. Hold on, I'll share it with you. Where is it? Yeah. Okay, so it's on my wall, actually. It's there all the time for me to see, and it has a lot to do with manifestation. It is, if you are disappointed, ask yourself, how do I get into alignment? That's actually a thought that's on my wall right now as I'm speaking to you. I'm looking at it and I'm reading it out. And it's so true, because every single time you are disappointed with something, it means there is a mismatch of the frequency you want to be at to the frequency that you are at. So that just means there needs to be some alignment that needs to happen there so that you can shift into the frequency of what you want. Okay? So I hope that this podio, I'm smiling every time I say podio because I feel like it's like a big feat for me to to get that into my vocabulary. Anyway, so for me, what I hope that you will take away from this podio is, I hope it brings a little bit of peace to you that whatever you have done towards manifestation has not been futile. It's just that there were a little bit more steps to that. And I hope that you can continue whatever you started out with, whatever you wanted to manifest for yourself, I hope you can continue that. You can go to step 2 and 3. And I hope that the word manifestation doesn't trigger you as much anymore. Because at the end of the day, it's possible. Anything you want is possible. I don't know why I felt the need to say it, but it's very, very important. It feels important for me to say it. It is anything you want. Anything you want is possible, all right? It exists in some shape or form at the frequency that it is at. And your job, if you truly want it, is just to figure out A, what that frequency is, B, how do you embody that frequency, and C, how do you sustain being in that frequency? And you just watch how it just comes to you, it starts attracting to you, and yeah, that's where it is. And if you find that there is a misalignment right now with the life that you are in, these 3 steps will help you out. All right. So that brings me to the end of this podio. The word is so cute, isn't it? Podio. Okay. Anyway, so that brings me to the end of this podio. Now, of course, if you want to get in touch with me, you can catch me on my Instagram page. Yeah, for a second I forgot what it was called. Instagram page. It's at The Marketing Nomad. Of course, if you have any more thoughts about this entire episode, feel free to leave it in the comments. Do give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Do hit that subscribe button as well, and hit that notification bell, because that tells you every single time I do upload a video. Other than that, well, I have 2 books that are out. One is 0 to 4 Figures. It's got 61 stories and lessons on digital entrepreneurship, but more importantly, how do you lead a life that is aligned with who you are? And it's got topics ranging from self-love to marketing strategy to business strategy to positive mindset, growth mindset, success mindset, and also, yes, relationships as well. My second book is a compilation of 1,000 journal prompts. It's called Self-Loved, and it mainly focuses on healing, growth, and self-discovery. The topics that are covered are, what do you know, manifestation. It also covers topics like shadow work and trauma healing, inner child healing, emotion management, so on and so forth. So journaling, I want to put it out there, is a great way for you to recognize the frequency that you are supposed to be at, for you to evaluate how to embody that frequency, and to make sure that you are in that frequency, like you are sustaining that frequency. And it also helps you recognize when you are not and how to course correct, so on and so forth. So for me personally, journaling has been a great way for me to work on my manifestation. So that's also one more thing. But of course, it has to be intentional journaling towards manifestation. So if you take a look at my journal prompt book, which is Self-Loved, I actually give you a series of questions to help you dig a little bit deeper and to intentionally journal so that you are working towards whatever it is that you wish to manifest. All right. So those are the 2 things. And then I also have a series of planners, journals, and trackers. It's called the Simple series. They are available on Amazon, and they're more inclined towards productivity. The simplest way to find them is to just search my full name on Amazon. It's called The Simple Series, and my full name is Prithvi Madhukar, Prithvi space Madhukar. So if you just search my name, you'll get all of my books. They're all on Amazon. And if you're struggling with productivity, then the Simple Series will help you out. Other than that, every other week I will be hosting a class on Zoom, and it will cover different topics related to mindset, marketing, and business. I'm not going to tell you which class is going on because that is going to change every other week. But if you are interested to attend my classes, then all you have to do is just visit themarketingnomad.co/class, and whatever is that current week's topic, you can enroll for that class as well. All right. So that's pretty much it. Definitely leave your thoughts in the comments. I love reading them. It makes me so happy. For me, I think that every single time you send me a like, or you share my video, or you comment, whatever it is, for me, I believe there's an exchange of energy that's happening. You are sending me your positive energy. I'm receiving it. You're sending me your love. And I love that. I love that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for listening all the way up until here. I will catch you in my next podio. Oh, I love that word. It's so cute. Alrighty guys, I'm gonna go now. Bye bye.